Hi, this is Beth Cooper, and welcome to another Bluebird Chat. This time we're talking to Geoff Allen, who is a nationally recognized watercolor and plein air painter. This is Beth Cooper, and I'm in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and I'm the owner of Bluebird Studios, and this is one of my Bluebird Chats. And today I'm chatting with Geoff Allen. He's a California painter. He lives near San Diego. So hi, Geoff.
Hey, hello.
How are
Thanks for
you?
having me on.
I'm really excited that you decided to have a workshop with me. You came highly recommended by a friend of mine. And your workshop is the first week of October, and it's plein air. And I have to tell
That's
you,
right.
uh, the first week of October is probably the primo week
Oh, really?
in
I'm
New
hitting
Mexico.
the good spot for colors.
The Aspen's at the tallest peak here. We have a ski resort about 30 minutes or
Mhm.
less from my house, and there's lots of great pullover places, to paint, and hopefully all those aspens will be gold. But that time
Right.
of the year, we rarely get any rain, and the weather should be perfect. And I'm so excited about it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
Geoff, tell me, I was looking at your bio, and these are just informal chats, no
Sure. Yeah.
pre-planned questions.
I'm
So,
not sure if I know how to do formal. So
yeah, me either. Me either. That would make me nervous. Um, so you have a long art background. It's not just that you just not just your watercolor, but
right.
it goes way back.
I've
Can you
done a lot of
tell me about
different
that?
things.
Uh-huh.
I think I've done a lot of different things in a lot of different art arenas. And when I started off, I got a degree in economics, and then the first art pursuit I got into was photography, and I started while I was going to school up in Santa Barbara, and I didn't have a car. I'd take a bike or a bus to downtown, and I'd spend all day photographing. I just loved it. I spent all my time doing that, and it's um, and I to me how it relates now, like full circle is I love wandering around and looking for compositions, and that's what plein air is. So I was doing it when I was a teenager,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Well, plein air can be intimidating. And
yeah.
the first time I ever plein air painted, it was so beautiful. I just was overwhelmed with a million different possibilities. So, do
Yeah.
you accept beginners in your classes?
Oh,
What's your level
yeah.
that you accept?
I think I accept all levels, and I gotta go with that same I did sports when I was younger, and I remember someone talking about like professional basketball players, they perfect dribbling. So like they always are going over the basics. And I feel like I do that in my own work. I'm always doing studies. Um, you know, this is my whoa. Sorry about that. This is just a sketch I did before I started my painting. And I know there's a lot of uncertainty in watercolor because you can't go back. There's no undoing so many things.
Right.
And I think the value tells us when to paint. And so like I try and lead people through a step by step. Okay, now this is we're going to do this now,
Mhm.
and doing sketches beforehand gives you a little more certainty of what's going to happen, what shapes you can connect,
Mhm.
all based on value. So like I try and take a little of the scariness out, my
Mhm.
workshops.
Good. It's to, like you said, practice setting up their gear before they come out with
Yeah.
this.
I have a couple videos on my channel, my YouTube
I
channel.
watched
And
those
actually,
the other day.
if you go to my website, and that's JeoffAllenArt.com. And I was so worried about people coming and not having sort of the right gear, the right stuff. I called it the
Mhm.
right stuff. And if you
Yeah,
have the right stuff, you can focus on painting. You won't be fighting your gear.
that's
And
so
so I just go
helpful.
over, and it's about a half an hour, but I talk about paper and
Mhm.
colors and brushes, like what brushes to bring, and like important a quill mop is. So, and I call them shovel. It's a water shovel. You
Okay.
know, to get something on your paper
Mhm.
and good paper. I talk about that. So anyhow,
Oh, that's
if
going
they
to be
check that
great.
out,
So
they
if
can
you guys
feel.
are interested in this workshop, I actually watched part of that video the other day.
Mm,
So that's super, super helpful. I saved most of my plein air classes for the fall and we'll be
mhm.
going out, but there is plenty to paint here on our property. We, have the adobe walls, the blue gates, the mountain vistas, the junipers, piñons, you know, I can see clear. We can see clear to Albuquerque from our
Ooh,
little ranch here.
atmosphere.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Now it'll be different than your atmosphere because it's so clear here. But
Oh,
you'll
we'll make, if it's not there, we'll make some.
we'll make
That's
it.
how I like to.
I was looking at some of your work earlier, and you do just capture that. I don't even know how to describe it. That it's like a mystery or like a glow. There's so many, and it's like, it seems to me to get that you control that watercolor really well.
Oh,
Or
really? I take a lot of risks in watercolor. I think you get for watercolor, it's one of those things you have to, it's like the herding cats kind of analogy,
yeah, yeah.
because water does so many magical things, but you have to use a lot.
Hmm.
And I don't know if you can see behind me, like this is my easel, and I heard the cats like, oh, it's going to, I speed it up or slow it down, based on
Hmm.
that. And I talk about that, how do you control that water so you can use a lot?
So
And
is your
that's
easel on a like a little pivoting thing?
it's on a ball head tripod. You got a good angle. So I just connect. And
That
I've had a
is
couple people
genius.
ask me and I posted about it. I think I put a video out on my channel about how I made this. It's this gator board with, like you can see that piece of wood underneath the board. And
Hmm.
I put like an insert nut in that. And then I just put the quick release, on
Yeah.
the bottom of that. And off I went. And I just attached that to this it's an expensive tripod, but they all work
Yeah. That's
reasonably well.
cool.
Oh,
That's
I love it. I
genius,
think it's
Jeff.
great for
Yeah.
watercolor because all of a sudden you can tell, like if you put too much water on it and it's like streaking down your
Hmm. Hmm.
paper,
Hmm.
that's when you can just turn it to the side. I mean, you can do it on other easels, but you'd have to maybe flip it to the
Hmm.
side. Whereas this, you just, it's just you just tilt it so you can interact with your water. And I think that's part of the neat thing about watercolor is it's very in the now,
Hmm.
you can't
Yeah.
leave it. You have to connect with like, oh, what's going on there?
Yeah. That's so cool. Well, tell me what else, how your workshops will go. Like, I'll just tell everybody real quick. I am in the background and this, and Jeff's running the class, but we have an icebreaker the night before. That's
Oh,
just
all
like
right.
soft drinks and chips and salsa and guacamole, that kind of a thing. But it gives you a chance to get to the studio, meet Jeff, just get acclimated a little bit. It's from 5 to 6. And then the next morning, I'm assuming you'll want us to meet at the studio, right, Jeff?
Yeah, I want to go over some exercises like before I throw it, before we go out
Hmm.
and things get more confusing. Like I like to, okay, this is, kind of this is what this is, and we're gonna do this. Yeah, I start off in the studio.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering about. Because every morning, if we're in the studio, well, actually, even if we're out of the studio, I provide a continental breakfast. It's complimentary, and
Wow.
I have bagels, hot coffee, cream cheese, hard-boiled eggs, pastries, everything you'd want.
Wow.
Actually, I spoil my students because I take all that out to the field. So if we do meet
Oh my
a day
gosh.
after or the day before that out in a location, and say it's a little chilly in the morning, I'll still have hot coffee for everybody and hard-boiled eggs and yogurt and everything. I just load up
Wow.
my car. I've got it down pat. And then so
That
that's
is really wonderful.
complimentary.
That is, I find that in plein air, it's like you got to have your energy up. And so, like having a little nibble,
Yeah, I bring lunch. Well, I bring lunch into the studio if we're still there by lunchtime. Maybe I'll do a green chicken chili enchilada. It's catered from a local restaurant with
Oh,
beans and
wow.
salad. If we're out on location, I'll do Jersey Mike subs. I'll do like chopped salads. Um,
Mhm.
and then the last day, I do like to have everybody, if possible, it's not mandatory, back at the studio because I serve frito chili pie. And it's kind of become one of my signatures. And the chili pie is kind of a Santa Fe signature thing. It's just fun. I That's a complimentary lunch for everybody. And again, you don't have to, and it's made with turkey, gluten free. So anyway, I just wanted to tell everybody about that. But so Geoff, when you do, will you be doing demos then?
Oh yeah, I know that everyone learns in a different way. Like some people need to read it, some people need, and actually one thing I bring out, sometimes I just do classes totally outside and I try to make it like a studio out there. And like, this is like one of the boards that I take. Like I take boards, so
Let me enlarge that a little bit.
instead of like doing like a handout and everyone asks you, okay, what are your colors? And so here, take a picture of that. And that way I don't have to, they can do it on their own time and I don't have to necessarily focus. And it's nice having something like this out. I bring a separate tripod, put this up or put it on the ground and they take pictures of it. And that way I'm having like a classroom, truly like a classroom outside.
Yeah,
And
that's great.
if they went, and a lot of times I try to give too much information because I think, people have to think about this stuff. The workshops, it's 3 days, but they're going to be lingering on this. And it's just part of the information they can go over. Oh,
Hmm.
what did he say? And so I'll say something and I'll point to this. And once they have that picture, they have a trigger to remember. So, I kind of feel like it's a good teaching. And what it is switch them out like they're on Velcro. So
Oh,
like I'll switch them out during the day depending
oh,
on like what
cool.
I'm
Okay, I
teaching
like
about. So
that.
I really like it's worked out pretty good.
Now, I noticed the sketch that you showed us before, then the one on the board, they're pretty big, so they're not thumbnails.
Oh, yeah, like this. Is
Hmm.
this what you're talking about? I know
Yeah.
I'm a big guy. I get messy, like, in terms of the lines. And sometimes I start them, like say I start it this big, but
Hmm.
depending on my choices, like, oh, I need more space up here. They sort of end up growing. I do start them um probably like 3 by 4 inches, but they always morph.
I know. I'm so
Um,
glad to hear that because I always have that problem too. I just even when I go to like a life drawing class, everybody's doing these little like figures, and I'll have a sheet of paper and it takes up the whole thing, you know. And so that's good to know, that I'm not unusual in that way.
no, no. Well, I mean, just with this whole art thing, you just have to do what's comfortable. And that,
Hmm.
sort of you'll know what works because you'll go, oh yeah, that, I
Yeah.
keep getting good results doing, that series
Hmm.
of
Well,
things.
another thing to add is part of my mission statement is that I try to give everybody a true Santa Fe experience. And that'll mean one day we'll probably go start the class early, especially if we're painting out on location, maybe even as early as 8. But we'll
Oh,
break
sure. Yeah.
early. And then we'll go down to Canyon Road or go down to downtown. I'll research who might have a watercolor show up or something like that. And we'll do a gallery visit as
Oh,
a group,
great.
and that's optional. But then we'll go out to a nice restaurant as a group, and usually it's been a lot of fun. So everybody gets that little taste of Santa Fe and the galleries, and
Oh
so
yeah, so many galleries there. I
yeah,
mean,
oh yeah,
I would recommend people to stay. I mean, you could just easily 2 days
yeah, they
cover
need, yeah,
everything.
it's good to do a few extra days to go. We have over like 350 galleries. I think they said more than New York City. So
Right.
you will be demoing every day or not.
I will be. I
Okay.
think that's a big part of learning. Like that's what I was kind of starting to say, that everyone learns in a different way. And for
Mhm.
me, like if I'm learning tennis, like like I need to see someone do it and then I need to do it myself. And
Yeah.
that's like a different kind of learning than say reading, do ABC,
Mhm.
and me just talking. I mean, some people will remember something that way, but I think it's a physical activity
Yeah.
and there's timing involved, just
Mhm.
like tennis, um, and I think they need to see that coordination and the timing to go,
Mhm.
oh, I get what he means by that. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Well, there's some beautiful locations.
you go, oh, what would he like? And I do love a little architecture, and I like to,
Mhm.
and when a lot of people go, oh, architecture, and I try and make it simple. If you can wait till the lighting is right, and it's
Mhm.
like it's just a shape, and so it takes a little and a shape that's a value. It takes the complexity out of
Yeah.
of uh, of the drawing of it.
Yeah,
So
well, it'll be lots of fun. Well, the workshop is October. I don't have the exact dates in front of me. October
two to
1st,
the
2nd,
second to the fourth, I think,
2nd to the
I believe.
4th. And it's 3 days. So maybe the first day, I'm just tossing this out there, we'll paint on the ranch here. Then maybe one day we could go up to the mountains. And maybe one day we could go out to Pecos, something like that.
That sounds great. Yeah, I like to try. I mean, I love doing trees, like starting with trees first, the natural forms, because I think those are easiest to learn the medium,
Okay.
versus like and then we kind of I like to end with people and architecture because those are
Yeah. Okay.
a little
Well,
bit tougher.
that could be a good plan for us then.
Oh,
So,
okay.
you know,
All right.
we don't well, the aspen. If you go up to the ski basin, you'll have aspens and tall lodgepole pines. Here in Santa Fe, you'll have piñons, which are maybe, I don't know, 15 feet high, and then juniper, chamisa, sagebrush, that kind of a thing.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So, okay, Geoff. Well, this was really helpful. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
yeah.
I'm excited for you to be here, and happy painting, everybody.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.